As far as DC movies are concerned, this one's really good. I will always stand by Man of Steel, but The Flash surprised me. It was a really enjoyable movie. I had a lot of fun, literally from beginning to end, and that says a lot for a 2.5 hour movie. I will admit, though, the main reason I wanted to see it was Michael Keaton's return as Batman, and it did not disappoint. Because honestly, I wasn't a fan of The Flash in Justice League. I didn't like the suit. I didn't like his personality. Didn't like him at all. But we got a totally different Flash in this movie. He's way more mature. The suit is amazing. It sleeps and bounds beyond what we got in the Justice League. So I'm very happy for that. This is a 2.5 hour movie. Didn't feel like 2.5 hours at all. As soon as you get started, within 2 minutes of this movie, we're right into an action sequence with both Batman and the Flash. And it's so nice not having a movie that requires 20 to 30 minutes of build-up before you get into any fun action. This one just jumps right into it. So I am so incredibly thankful for that. Now, the one thing I will say about this movie is I think it's lacking feeling. This is supposed to be an emotional movie for the Flash. It's a big thing for him going back in time to save his mom who died, and in the process destroys the entire timeline and multiverse and all this other crap that happens. But Ezra Miller has a hard time expressing his sadness on screen. He is just not an empathetic actor. I'm not getting that feeling from him. So although they're trying really, really hard to portray that, it just fell a little short. The person that does do really good with emotions and kills every acting role they're in is Michael Keaton, and he did just that. The Batman, I don't understand how this man can get better over time, but he does. I like this Batman from Michael Keaton more than I like the Batman of old, and that's kind of crazy to say because he's still the best Batman ever. Dispute that in the comments, I dare you. And it's weird because when Ezra Miller and Michael Keaton are on screen together, Michael Keaton just walks away with that scene. He just carries, I say, the majority of this movie. He is in the movie a lot, and any time that there is a scene that involves the two of them, Michael Keaton just overshadows him. There's nothing Ezra Miller can do to compete with the skills of Michael Keaton. So I got my Batman fix. I'm happy. It's all I wanted. But no, seriously, this movie was really, really good. We can nitpick this thing all day long. We can say what was good, what was bad. Overall, this is one of the better DC movies. I had fun. We got lots of cameos. Way more cameos than I expected. We had tons and tons of actions. Lots of different timelines, different scenarios, different superheroes. One Batman didn't line up with the next Batman, but that Batman did this thing that Batman did, and then we had a Superman who wasn't quite Superman, and then it was crazy. It was just a jumbled timeline mess, but it was an enjoyable jumbled mess. I also enjoyed the CGI in this movie. The special effects in here were absolutely incredible. I love the way that they had Barry Allen running, the electricity came off his feet, the tunnel vision you get with everything flying past you, and especially him getting into the Speed Force. It was just so surreal. Prior to this movie, I thought the CW Flash was handled better than the Justice League Flash. But now, I think this Flash was handled better than CW. Obviously, with a much bigger budget, that's kind of why you get the better effects. But now they finally applied it. Now, you still got that comical relief from Ezra Miller that we got in the Justice League. It just wasn't as much. We got it more so in his younger version, which is kind of tolerable considering he's younger. And we're dealing with a much older Flash initially, so it kind of pans out. But I found myself smiling and laughing and having a good time with this movie. And I don't know if it was intentional, but this movie felt like the end of the DC era. It just felt like this was the end, the last hurrah, the last movie of a saga. And again, we know that is what's happening because we're getting a new DC universe. But this one really did feel like they intentionally said, this is it. This is the end. Time to start something new. And I think they did it well. There was a lot of shock and awe moments, a lot of cameos. And at the very end, it just, you kind of left your jaw dropped a little bit because something happens that I won't mention because I don't want to spoil things. So it was fun. Now, I know DC never can get the recognition that Marvel gets, but at the end of the day, this was a good movie and probably one of the best ones yet. At the end of it all, I walked out happy, excited, wanting more DC, so good job.